Welcome back to Choose Math Tools, where math is made easy. In this session, we are adding our fractions with unlike denominators, and yes, we are using the same fraction from our first video, but in this session, we're just going to be using a common denominator of both of our numbers to calculate them and find our sum. So if you're ready to see how this is done, let's get started. So in our session today, we are calculating the sum of our fractions using a common denominator method. Now for this method, we're just finding a multiple or a common denominator for both of our numbers. So let's begin. So in finding our common denominator, we're looking at our numbers 12 and 6. And we're going to begin by listing the first I'm going to go with the first four multiples of both 12 and 6. So my first four multiples, I have 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, and 6 times 4 is 24. Now for 12, we have 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 3 is 36, and 12 times 4 is 48. So in our first session, we used the lowest common multiple that both of these numbers had in common, which is 12. But for this session, we're just going to find a common multiple of both of our numbers. So I'm going to go to the next multiple, which is 24. I remember that in looking at these two numbers, they have a wide range of common multiples. They have 36, they have 48, they have 72, and there are many others. So this is just for my persons who may be calculating your fractions with unlike denominators, and you may not always necessarily use the lowest common multiple, but you may just use a multiple that is common to you for both of these numbers. So that's why we're going through this step. So let's continue. So now that we have selected our 24 to be our multiple that we're going to be using, we're going to now move on to our next step. Remember, the next step is always to convert them into their equivalent form. And I am going to begin with my first fraction of 5/12. I remember that I'm converting that to its equivalent form where it has 24 in the denominator. So I know to change 12 to 24, I'm going to be multiplying my 12 times 2. And 12 times 2 will give me 24. And remember, whatever I multiply the denominator by, my numerator is also multiplied by that same number. So 5 times 2 will give us 10. So our first fraction in its equivalent form will be 10/24. Now that we've changed our first fraction, let's go ahead and convert our second fraction of 2/6 to its equivalent form where it has 24 in the denominator. And we're going to be changing 6 to 24 by multiplying it by 4. So 6 times 4 gives us 24. So 2 times 4 will also give us 8. So our second fraction will be 8/24. So now that both fraction is in its equivalent form, remember that our denominator will remain the same, and we're just adding the numerator of adding 10 plus 8, which will equal to 18/24. And of course, we are going to be simplifying our fraction to its lowest term, which means that I need to find a common factor of 18 and 24 that I can divide them by. And with 18 and 24, both of these numbers have 6 in their timetable. And if you're not sure, remember, look back at your numbers. We see 18 here, and we also see 24 as well. So I know that both of these numbers can be divided by 6. So 18 divided by 6 will equal to 3. And 24 divided by 6 will equal to 4. So my fraction, when added and simplified, is equal to 3/4. Okay, so there you have it. We just calculated some of our fractions using a common denominator for both of our numbers rather than the lowest common denominator. And you can see that even though the working may be a little bit different, our final solution is still the same. So that's the good thing about fractions. In some cases, there is a wide range of methods that you can use, but remember that regardless of the method that you use, the final solution should still be the same. Okay, so as always, get some additional practice in, and I'll see you right here in part 3 on Jules Math Tools, where the aim is to make math easy.